It is that time in our Thanksgiving prep special where we prep the bird. So earlier in the show, Dev and Randy showed us how to prepare the stuffing. Okay, now Dev is going to show me how to stuff the turkey. Do you see how I said that?
You don't have to make a face like that.
To stuff the turkey. And we're going to get it ready to go in the oven. And I like, you know, there's a lot of people out there like me that are very intimidated. That's a very big bird. And this is going to get gross. Like, you got to touch the bird. You got to get the stuffing in the bird. So we're going to walk through the whole thing.
Cooking is a really fun thing for me and the family, and it's really festive.
Yeah.
So big smiles for this one, okay? No, I'm just teasing you. It is intimidating. It's a 10-kilo, 20-ish something pound bird. So where do we start? First thing, make sure it's defrosted.
Yeah.
If this thing is still frozen, we don't want that going into the oven because people won't return next year for Thanksgiving, okay?
Absolutely not.
Next, what we want to do is call in someone who's never done this before. Ever. It's hard for me to believe, but we're calling Tracy P.
Yes!
Back on. Let's go. Welcome.
And
never done it before.
The grossness. Put on the drumstick hat.
If you're at home and you don't want to be using gloves, that's totally fine. But here today we will. It'll keep things clean.
Gloves.
And you'll see how messy this is going to get. So here we have our bird in front of us, and you'll notice that there's some skin around the base of the legs here, the drumsticks.
Yeah.
That'll keep it from opening up. If you didn't have that, I would just suggest using some twine. That way, the legs won't open up and the stuffing will come out. Okay, cool. So next we have
toddlers.
Next we have our stuffing that has cooled down. This is the caramelized onion and dried cranberry and sage and apple stuffing. So herbaceous. So we're going to take a good handful of the stuffing and we're going to drop it into the little pocket here. And this is on a baking tray because it'll get a little bit messy. But what we want to do is pack the stuffing in there, but you don't want to cram it all in there. Like, we're not backpacking through Europe, okay? So what you want to do is just get enough in there that you can still move your hands around in there. You're making me laugh.
You're really getting in there, eh?
Get in there, yeah, because the inside of that stuffing should reach an internal temperature of 165 Fahrenheit.
Yeah.
Especially with all those internal juices flowing around in there. Okay?
Listen, are you okay?
All right.
This is so gross.
So stuffing goes in. I'm just gonna make sure it gets to the back for your first time.
I don't mind eating it, but I don't like making it.
Probably my last.
She's gonna be a vegetarian.
You look like a pro. And then what we want to do is, once this is just starting to get to the exit of this cavity here, we can stop. And with the leftovers, so I'm getting really excited. I want to eat. With the leftovers, you could throw this into a pan, you know, an oven-friendly pan.
Sure.
Sear it up with some butter, because you know we love butter, and then finish that in the oven.
Okay.
We have our compound butter. This is butter with a ton of garlic. You guys know how much I love garlic.
Great.
A ton of rosemary and a ton of thyme. I have some extra herbs here. And this is unsalted. I think you like salted butter.
I like salted butter.
You like salted butter. Tracy, what do you use at home? Unsalted?
We do unsalted.
Unsalted, okay. So this is unsalted.
And just add the salt later.
And then I can control the salt that goes into it, but whatever you like using at home, that's totally fine, okay?
Okay.
So I'm going to take a big handful. Whatever you think's enough, double it. And then I want to rub this all over the turkey as well as I can and just butter it up. Make sure the turkey's nice and dry. The more dry it is.
Is it supposed to stay where you put it?
You know what? Just, you got to make love to it a little bit. You got to massage in this one, okay? Make sure you get this all up. Like, you know when you take a shower, right? And you're going here and in between your toes and everything? Yeah. That's the same thing you want to do here, because you don't know who's going to get which piece of that turkey. Okay. Imagine you're cooking for, imagine I was cooking for one of my parents or someone, like someone really important, like your boss.
Oh, yeah.
And then they get a piece with no butter and it's just bare, you know, you're going to get canned, okay?
So every nook and cranny, every nook and cranny.
I'm even going to take it, this is a big bird, and I'm going to flip it over and rub it everywhere. You notice the butter might be sliding around, but that's why you have to just kind of make a little bit more
well, it's not like, is this staying there?
That's good. Okay, good. Look at me.
This is looking great.
Oh my God, T, you're doing good.
Really, really good.
And I say that with admiration / jealousy, because none of my butter is staying on my bird. Should I get you a drink? Did I not say the right thing?
So Tracy, and if you're watching this at home, this is great. things sometimes don't work out the way that you intend them to, and that's why we're doing this here for you, so you don't have to do it at home, okay? So we want to pat the bird completely dry. I think your bird was a little drier than Tracy's.
Okay,
Thanks.
why? Was mine drier?
Because it's not your first time doing this. You patted it down.
Okay.
Okay,
all right.
So you see the butter starting to catch now?
Shade he threw at me.
And once the butter is everywhere and you rub it all down and there's more butter than you think's necessary because we love the butter, we want to get this into the oven and we're going to bake this off until an internal thermometer registers in the thickest part of the leg to a 165 Fahrenheit. And I also just want to mention that Chef Randy has not left the building. He's still here, and I'd like to invite him on.
Oh my gosh, come in.
Where'd he come from? I know, right?
Obviously, I didn't prep this bird. That looks beautiful. Oh.
Stunner.
Wow.
It's all about the butter rub.
Gorgeous. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about this. How big would you say these birds are?
They're like 22 pounds.
How many people am I feeding?
So 1 pound per person's a really good.
Okay.
You know, because the
right.
little ones won't eat quite as much and the big ones will eat a little bit more.
And how long does this take to cook?
Well, that's a great
good
question, Tracy, because like everyone gets like, you know, like maybe the older generation thinks it's going to take a weekend.
Yeah, my mom would start at 4 in the morning, and like this would be a whole day event. So
you know, I'm not going to speak for Chef Dev, but for myself, I always go really high. I go like 425, 450 for an hour, and then I drop it to 325, and this would be done in like 3.5 hours.
3.5 hours.
Yeah, flex it out.
What do you think? But what's the difference, though? Like, what's changed?
Good way to do it that way, Chef, because you guarantee your color. Instead of having to go to the end of the cooking and then start cranking it, and then you overcook it.
Yeah.
Yes.
So Chef's method is he'll get that color. And then also the internal heat raises as well in the oven, and then you slowly bring it down. And resting is also the most important.
Resting is the most important.
Why did our grandmothers take like all day to do it? Why?
Listen, I have the nicest aunt in the world. She is the nicest person in the world. You touch that turkey and it would blow up. Like it would just like, it'd be like, can you carve the turkey? Be like, no, I can't. I can like fork it. It just like turns to sawdust.
So we overcooked.
You overcooked.
You're saying we overcooked.
Get the thermometer out, like Chef Dev said, and you know, if you start out hot, it sounds like you're turning temperature down a lot, but you're not. It's going to take a couple hours for that temperature to come down.
I might have stopped massaging mine because obviously it's not feeling it. It was a little wet, and now nothing's sticking
Mine's
to
very
it.
receptive
He
to my
gave me
love.
the trick turkey. She's got the perfect turkey over there that's taking in all of the butter and the stuffing beautifully. I'm so happy we invited you. Thank you, Dev. Thank you, Randy. Thank you, T, for sharing your expertise with us when it comes to stuffing the turkey and rolling up your sleeves and not leaving me alone out here.